Speaking of NFL with that FanDuel read, a guy that a lot of scouts thought was going to be a high NFL draft pick going into last season was the Syracuse guy who transferred to Texas Tech for the 2023 season, linebacker Steve Linton. Well, he only played 7 games for the Red Raiders last year. I think he was banged up a little bit. Went into the transfer portal, and he has announced his next stop. I'll give you a hint. It's within the Big 12 Conference. It's within the Butt Bowl rivalry, and I'm talking about it here on Locked On Baylor. Yes, he has committed to the Baylor Bears, a linebacker who's a pass rusher. That's what he was known for. That's what got the scouts salivating. Well, he didn't have like a glittering season with Texas Tech. Again, he battled some injuries and only played 7 games. And you look at the numbers, 3 sacks and 2 forced fumbles in 7 games. That's not bad. Well, what if I told you that in 6 of those games, 6 of those 7, he had no sacks and no forced fumbles? Because I look at the game log and I see October 7th at Baylor, a 25-point Texas Tech victory. And in that game, Steve Linton had 3 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. And for the season, had 3 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. The only productive game he had last year was against Baylor. The only one against the worst offensive line in the Big 12 Conference. Uh-oh. Please, Lord, tell me the Baylor coaching staff watched him on film more than just that game film. Please tell me that. Like this program, they don't need joke writers, man. It's writing itself. He has one good game, and you sign him up. I hope he has more than one good game next year, because Baylor has needed a pass rush bad the last 2 seasons, real bad. And if you look at his first couple years and what the scouts were saying about him, you're like, yes, perfect. This is great. But then you look at the game log. He only did it against Baylor last year. The only real, tangible statistical impact he had on games. Now, I know it's not all told in the stats. I know that. But Tech fans are not really sad to see him go. Let's look at the positive side of this. I'm going to read an excerpt for you, from On3. Matt Zenitz wrote this. He's a recruiting expert, and he wrote this article in last May after spring football about this new Tech linebacker who really impressed in spring football. And I'm just going to read some of the highlights for you. So again, he played 4 years at Syracuse before that, and the numbers got better as the year went on, or as his years went on. And here's what they were talking about. The coaches were talking about this one play in one-on-one reps. And so they're talking about Linton. He slipped as he tried to work around one of Tech's offensive tackles, and it led to Linton just falling on his back. Okay. In that situation, most people would then go through the standard process of rolling over, using their hands to get back up on their feet, but not Linton. Within a second of falling, Linton, at 235 pounds and in full pads, went from being an ad popped up. Hold on. Went from being flat on his back to propelling himself into the air and onto his feet. It was a ninja-like maneuver. That's Zenitz, not me. A ninja-like maneuver, like something straight out of a martial arts movie sequence. Quote, he did that, and I was like, holy hell, Red Raiders second-year head coach Joey McGuire said. Bang. In fact, another staffer from Texas Tech, their director of player personnel, James Blanchard, said, I would not be shocked if they call Steve Linton's name in the first round next year. Well, that ain't happening, but it could happen the year after. So if you want to look at the positive side of things, there's clearly potential there. There is talent there. Golly, it's so funny to just see that one big game was against Baylor. Steve Linton, I need you to go back to your vintage self. We need you to live into that potential, have those ninja-like maneuvers, because Baylor really needs a pass rush. Look, I've been saying this time and time again to some fans who expect the world out of this transfer portal. They're not bringing in the best players in the country. I think they've done well so far, considering a 3-9 team with a coach who's on the hot seat, I think they've done well, especially with Daquan Finn at quarterback and Ashton Hawkins, a playmaker at Texas State at wide receiver. This guy had a lot of potential. He still does. He has played a lot of football. And, some people who are getting paid to evaluate talent think he's going to the NFL. So that's what I'm going to go with for now. What do you think about Steve Linton and about the transfer class coming in so far? Let me know down in the comments below.